Hi, welcome. Welcome to my channel. If you are new to this, I'm contemplating whether the sun's gonna go down or not. Today I'm gonna be discussing long distance, and so I'm actually gonna move and we're gonna move because this light is too much. Okay, we can do with this. Okay, it's a bit dark, but we'll make do. I'm Kay-Leigh, for those of you who are new here, and today I'm going to be talking about long distance. It is a frequent question that people have been asking me about. I was gonna write down something, but I just thought I would wing it because I feel like I do better when I do that. So give my video a like and subscribe, and I hope that you enjoy it. So I'm gonna jump right into it and start saying that everyone will tell you that long distance won't work, it's gonna fail, you're so young. All of those things are very possible. It might not work. You might be young. He's gonna cheat on you, she's gonna cheat on you. I understand that, but I think that it just depends on where you are in your life, the relationship that you're in, the person that you're doing it with, and there's just so many things to consider. And half the time, people that tell you that it's not gonna work, don't do it, he's gonna cheat on you, haven't even done long distance. So don't listen to them because it's not impossible. I honestly think if you really love the person, why not give it a try? I don't know, even if it's gonna end at some point, why give up and not even try doing it? I think that I've experienced two sides of long distance. We'll speak about both and then give you guys a bit of an idea of why you should not listen to people who say long distance doesn't work. I did long distance with my ex-boyfriend. We did long distance for a couple of months, and we had been dating for 3 years, and it did not work out in the end. And that's not to say that I cheated, he cheated. It's just we were in two different stages of our life, and I think that that is a very important thing when doing long distance. When doing long distance, you have to think about a lot of things. Like it's blind faith, and you just do what your heart wants to do. Sometimes the other person doesn't want to do it, or someone's more in favor, or you have to follow your heart, follow your gut, and do it. And so we mutually broke up because he was studying in America, and inevitably there was no time date of when I would see him again, and so it just didn't work. Like, we shared 3 very good years, and it was a mutual breakup. Whereas like now I've been doing long distance for 10 months, and it's going very well, and it's been very successful, and I've been able to experience both sides. And I did long distance the first time. My ex-boyfriend came here and I was at home, and now I'm doing long distance where my current boyfriend's at home and I'm in America. I also know I'm coming back home after a certain time. That's something that you should consider when you do long distance. Like, there is an end date of when long distance will end. After a year, I will be coming back home. Whereas if somebody's studying, it's not impossible. Like, it's really not impossible. You can go and you can make a plan to visit them. And I know it's not easy, it's expensive, but if you know that you are able to visit the person, or they can come home and visit you, it makes a big difference. And I think that how you manage your relationship is also a big thing. People ask me, what do I do? How do I make it work? And it's just different for everybody. It is hard because obviously he's studying and I'm working, and the time difference from where I am, New York to South Africa, is 7 hours. Whereas if you're on the West Coast in California, or it could be 9 hours difference. So I know like Australia to South Africa is 9 hours difference because somebody recently told me. It's just difficult because of the timing, but if you want to make it work, I think it's possible. I try and encourage people to call every day, and I know that sounds a bit excessive, but once you incorporate that into your routine, it becomes so natural. Luca and I call each other all the time. Even if we can't FaceTime, we try and at least call to hear the other person's voice once a day, even if it's to say goodnight because it's been a hectic day. I think that a really big part of doing long distance is being able to hear the person's voice and see their face. And I promise you it makes a very big difference. If you can FaceTime at least for 5 minutes every day and just catch up a little bit, especially when you're living in another country, your life is completely different. It's difficult for the other person to know or understand what you're going through, and it's very difficult to convey that over text message. It's easier to convey the experience that you're living, being able to FaceTime. If you only see or able to speak to each other for like a few hours in your day, use that and maximize that time. In the beginning, I was like, oh my god, like how am I going to have time to call every day? It's going to be impossible. Only you know how you feel, and if this person is a priority in your life, you'll make a time for it. One thing I can say, and I don't mean to bash anybody or blame anybody, but in my previous relationship, we spoke a lot over message. It was very difficult with him studying and I was still at school, and we did have miscommunication because through text message things come across in a different way. That just happened, and so avoiding that is by trying to speak over a video call or a phone call. I just don't believe that what everybody says is true, because everybody will encourage you not to do it and you're so young and you should live your life, but everybody's experience and everybody's journey is completely different. But to just give up or go with what people tell you is completely wrong. I had so many people tell me the first time round of doing long distance that it won't work, and I don't even know why I'm trying. And you know what? It didn't last very long, but that's okay. We tried it and that's fine. I think a big part of long distance is knowing the person. Okay, to be fair, Luke and I had only known each other like 4 months before I left. But I feel like in those 4 months, like we got to know each other very well. Like I was with him 90% of the time before I left. What I mean by that is you need to establish where you are in your relationship. I know it sounds horrible, but if you don't see a long-term future, don't waste their time. Rather just be honest than lead somebody on and know it's not going to work. So I just think that you should know where you are in your relationship, and trust is a very big thing. If you're going to be worrying every day whether he's cheating on you and kissing another girl, whether he's being loyal or not, then I don't know why you would be in that kind of relationship if you're constantly questioning that. And I know for me, both relationships, I never once questioned if they're cheating on me or what they're doing. In order to gain some, you have to give some. Being able to let that person do what they want to do. If you hold somebody back and you're like, you can't go out, you can't go see your friends, you can't do that, it's going to manifest into something toxic. Okay, it's different for everybody. I cannot generalize and say you can't do that, because obviously there's certain situations and certain circumstances with people who feel that way about certain other people, and so I can understand that. But for no reason to just say to your partner, you can't go out because I'm scared that you're going to do stuff, isn't fair. Establishing good trust comes with giving your partner that freedom and giving them the freedom to choose that. It's just, it completely depends on your relationship and so forth. But for me personally, that's just how I've been in both of my relationships. But at the end of the day, it's different for everybody. And I think that trust is a big thing, because you can't be sitting there every day worrying about things like that when you could be spending your focus on having a good relationship. It's difficult and it is hard. But if you can conquer long distance, I think that your relationship will be so much stronger in the end. And just because it didn't work out for some of you doesn't mean that it wasn't worth it, or that it wasn't good enough, or you weren't good enough. Sometimes people are in different stages of their life and it just won't work. But I don't believe that giving up completely is the right option either. It is very different over the phone. I got so accustomed speaking to Luca over the phone. When he came and visited in December, it was so weird. I realized how much different quality and real time is as opposed to a FaceTime. So nevertheless, over text message, with long distance relationships, you have to try and call them as much as you can. I think that's just my opinion. It's very different for everybody. Also know that it's either going to work or it's not going to work. You have to be prepared for both outcomes. In terms of sexuality and sexual things, it is an adjustment. I'm not going to lie. You're not with your person physically. A big part of it is being intimate, because that's what classifies a relationship. What defines a friendship to a relationship is a big part of it is the physicalities and the feelings. Every relationship will handle that in a different way, and I think that's up to everybody's comfort of what they're willing to do. It is going to be difficult if you are a very intimate person, because you have to learn to be on your own, and you have to learn how to adjust with not being with that person every day. You have to figure out your boundaries and your decisions on how you want to go with that. If you do long distance, I think that in the end it does build your relationship and it makes you stronger. And it's so weird for me. Luca and I have been dating longer apart than we were together. Like, I've never had to question whether I'm doing the right thing or whether I've made the right choice. I just know our relationship is only growing. Would you rather throw it all away before, or try it, fail? You gave what you could, you did what you can, and you guys both realized that it wasn't for you. That's my advice if you guys are going through long distance, which I've had a couple of people message me about. I understand, and I completely know what it's like, and how hard and tough it can be. Let me know if you're going through. I'll put my email down below, or you can reach out to me on Instagram. I want to end off with telling you that nothing is impossible, and don't always listen to what people have to say when it comes to long distance, because half the time they haven't even done it, and you can do it. If you persevere, I believe in you. You will get through it. I wish you all the best if you are doing long distance. And just do spontaneous things, like send the person an email. I know that sounds weird, but you have to send the person mail. Like, I did that. I just know that the postal system in South Africa is horrible. The chances of getting a letter across the world it's a hit or miss. So it's like tough if you write out your whole heart and feelings into a letter and then it doesn't get delivered. And like, just send them an email. That's, I don't know, just do something creative, and just Google ways on how to do that. But I wanted to share my experience with you and tell you that it's not impossible, and that I kind of already did my exit, but then I started talking again. But anyway, hope you guys enjoyed this video. Yeah, follow me on Instagram, send me an email, and we'll chat soon.